Kia ora and welcome to this week's episode of the show. Thanks so much for listening and supporting this channel. If you found value from my interviews so far, thanks so much. Thanks for your support. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to hit the subscribe button and then you'll be able to be notified of all my interviews in the future. If you are liking this interview, or if you will like this interview in the later on, please hit the like button. My name is Mina Amso, and I'm your host. And in this week's episode, I have an amazing guest who has got a valuable story to share, because it hasn't been an easy journey to get to this point. So, long-time Kiwi Iraqi member Johnny Burjony is speaking on my show today about his life in New Zealand and just being an Iraqi in New Zealand. It takes a lot to be an Iraqi in New Zealand. He's also speaking about the community project that he has been heavily involved in, really passionate about, and it has brought hundreds of people together. And he's been part of it for a while, and the project has gotten a lot better over the years, and it has been very successful. And he's here to talk to me about it. So, kia ora, Johnny, and welcome to the show.
Oh, kia ora, Amina. Thank you for having me in your show. And it's a nice introduction. I do appreciate that.
My pleasure. So, you are the board chairperson of the Babylon Community Trust.
Babylon
Charitable Trust. And we will be talking a lot about this later on. And so before we start, though, I think people would like to know who you are. And firstly, when you landed in New Zealand, it must have been a real shock, was it? Or was it like, oh, yeah, here's another country I'm going to call home for the rest of my life?
Probably the second one, because I was passionate to leave Iraq. And we arrived in December 1995 with my family, 3 children and my wife. So, I didn't think of any problems arriving into New Zealand. As a English-speaking second language, education was all in English. And so I didn't feel at any stage that this will be difficult for me.
You spoke English back home?
Yes, I did. I was educated in English. Actually, I was in high school and the university run by the American Jesuits at the time. So that's why it was all the English language. So my English was very, very good.
Exactly, as a lot of the Iraqi community members who spoke fluent Arabic, right? Fluent Arabic and fluent English. So a lot of them did not have any issues coming in. I, for example, didn't speak English much, so it was like hi and goodbye. So I've come a long way, and it hasn't been easy. But your adjustment to this culture. Because we've in this series, season 6 of the show, we've been talking a lot about the adjustment of this Iraqi ethnic community here in New Zealand. And there's probably like thousands of Iraqis who now live in Auckland, mainly. Has the adjustment been, an easy one for you, would you say?
Yeah, for me it was easy. My late wife also spoke English, had a good English speaking because she was a university graduate and she got a job straight away. And my children, the eldest one did speak English because she was in medical school second year, and the little ones had a bit of a hard speaking English because they were little, and then but as time passed away in a few months they were all in it, so we didn't have a problem at all with the language. Of course, the only other thing is We missed our home country, our
Mm.
relations and relatives and friends.
Mm.
But it's a compromise, and that's why you either stay in your country and have no bright future for your children, which you look for as a father and a mother. Yeah, that's what we did.
Why did you move?
Oh yes, because the country was in turmoil, lots of problems, and Iraq was not a safe country with all the wars, the Iraq-Iran wars, and then the American Allies War, 91, and we had a hard time during
Mm.
these days. So, and then we ended up, it's just not a stable country. So we had to make a decision.
Mm.
And I think we did the right decision. And New Zealand is a beautiful country. I can't thank God every single moment, every single day
Mm.
of being in New Zealand, specifically as a country.
So, but then you must have you were saying you missed your family, your friends, the social circles that you were part of. And did you want to have that replicated here in New Zealand? Like, how did you find your people as you moved here?
Yeah, of course. I mean, as I would say, all the Iraqis will think this way. I mean, yes, we still like the gatherings, and we are, like very emotional people, and we always remember our past, and we'd like to be to replicate in a way or another this have the gatherings. Of course, there were in Iraq there were social clubs, and we did meet in social clubs and our homes. We normally had every weekend a gathering with a few couples, and it was great. So although all these people spread all around the world, but we still were looking into doing this here and trying to get some friends and relatives to meet with them in New Zealand.
But you obviously now you're involved in a lot of projects. You have been involved in a lot of projects to strengthen the sense of Iraqi community in New Zealand, the few thousand people. But one of them that we mentioned earlier was the Babylon Charitable Trust, which has the Babylon Community Center part of it. Is that right? Tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Well, yes, Babylon Charitable Trust actually we're a group who were actually in the parish council, and when we were at parish council, we usually did some social activities like gatherings and things like that. But of course, it's not like a church job to do that for the community. So we decided to create or to work on a trust to do the social activities part of it, and that's how it started, like in 2005. It had a bit of bumps throughout, and in 2013 we were settled and registered as Charitable Trust, and we did carry on.
Tell me why this has started. Why the center? Why the trust?
Well, as I told you when we started it, we thought that we have to do some social activities to get to get the community together, the parents, the children, and all aspects thing, whatever you can do. So that was the main idea. And of course, I myself and my colleagues in the board, they have that passion to always get together for the Iraqis, Kiwi Iraqis, let's say it this way. So that's the main idea, and of course to serve them through the free programs.
Because from what I hear, it sounds like it's a lot of work, and you must have so much passion that will carry you through organizing. It takes, I'm sure, lots of your time and lots of commitment. By the way, if you've just tuned in, I'm speaking to Iraqi community leader and Babylon Community Trust chairperson, Johnny Burjony. If you are finding this interview interesting and valuable, hit the subscribe button on YouTube or leave a comment in Apple Podcasts to help support this channel. And this way, if you are subscribing on YouTube, YouTube will be able to share my content to more people. So only Iraqis can be part of this, or anybody can be part of?
It is not Iraqi, it's the Middle Eastern.
Oh, okay, right.
People of Middle Eastern.
Right. So if someone who's from a different Middle Eastern country.
Mainly the Arabs are joined because everyone speaks Arabic. So we have a Syrian and a Jordanian family.
Oh, nice. Fabulous.
Well, we have a monthly bingo night with food served.
The community was organizing a bingo night, and that was such a fun day. And I also went along to that. So this is what I found out.
أنا أحب أخدم الكوميونتي، أحب الكلتشر مالتنا يتوارث إلى أولادنا، إلى الأجيال الجديدة يعرفون نحن شلون كنا عايشين. يعجبني إنه الكوميونتي يظل مترابط فيما بينه، متحد، وأجيالنا تسوي نفس الشيء.
It's an opportunity to gather and meet with our friends and catch up and enjoy and have a really good family time. So because of life and work and all this, we forget that we need to see our friends and bond with each other and catch up. So we appreciate having this opportunity to come and meet with our friends and lovely food. It's all Iraqi food, and it is all food that people work hard to provide, and we enjoy the food here. They work really, really hard because we know some of the people who work here, and they do a really good job. They work really hard. They use their own time to make this work. So we appreciate that. They're all volunteers. They all work without getting paid or getting anything in return. And they try their hardest to make it a good time for young children and for the elderly people. They have different programs, and all the programs serve different age groups and different people in our community.
اليوم افتتنا تشريد اشترك به بسام ووسام وهذا اليوم. هاي بعد
قطعة لحم من الكتف أو الفخذ، وياها السوب مالته والخبز ينقع بالسوب. I think الناس يعجبهم هذا، especially إنه أكو بيها طعم من بصرة، طعم البهارات خاصة نستعملها.
I would love if we see more like younger people, and if we do activities for younger people. All the new generation, they are the tomorrow, I come here because of my children. They love it. They love the community. They love being with their friends, and I love them to be involved with the Arabic community.
Why do you come to these bingo nights?
Well, to hang out with my friends and to win some cash.
It's such a beautiful atmosphere here.
It's free to come for the entry is free for the members.
Yep.
And if they want to buy food, they have to book the food up front and they will pay for the food on the time. So that's the main one. And also we have all fundraising activities like New Year, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day, this main Labor Day or something like that. Anyway, we do have Christmas lunch or as well as Easter lunches as well. We have what else we have? We do breakfast. That's a big event. We do normally once a year a breakfast gather. It's a big, lovely Iraqi food.
Right.
And once we did, with the help of the Kiribati Board Council, we did an open day in Chartwell, in the center there. It's a full day activities and funds and fundraising and dancing and singing and things like that. So it's an open day. We did it actually once. We would like to do those more often,
Yes.
but again, go back to the volunteers.
Volunteers. So there seems to be a huge call for volunteers to come and be part of this group, part of this community. If you are out there who have a sense of, I suppose, the heart and the passion to come and serve the Iraqi community, get in touch with Johnny Burjony and get to find out more and really become part of such a great movement, because it comes across as adding a lot of like value to the people of people who are like the Iraqis who are living in this country.
We got registered about 250 families, or maybe some of them are singles, but about 250 of them.
250 families are
And
part of
they are paid. They pay, and we have their details as well. It's in our system. So about
250 paid memberships, part of you.
Well, not paying is not everybody pays. We have.
Okay.
I mean, some of them pay.
Some pay, some they don't.
They pay the first year, and then whenever there is an occasion, they renew their membership. But they are not consistent. Some of them are consistent.
Okay.
Some of them are not consistent in paying their membership.
How has the membership numbers been for you over the last few years? Has it seen an increase?
No, actually, it's a little bit of increase. Well, the last couple of years, no, I can say that. But before that, yes, we had a good number started to grow up. But of course, it covers most of the community, especially on the North Shore of Auckland. There are some, others who are not members and they don't attend and they are not involved in our work at all, and they are not interested.
So,
apart from that, and they are not members. But yeah.
So things haven't been on the rise in the recent years. Do you know what that's the cause of?
Because there's no immigrants from Iraq. It's limited immigration now. It's limited. When we came in '95, and it was booming, like hundreds and hundreds coming in '96, '97, '98, and 2000. And of course, when they come, they bring their last member of the family or their parents and everything. So that's what. At that time it was going up, but now there is no more. Like for example, there is like only 400 families in the North Shore in Auckland, North Shore basically mainly. They are not increasing, so the members will not increase as well.
So 250 families, roughly how many are actually actively involved
I can say maybe say about 30% only they pay on continuous basis, and they pay their membership on time. Yeah. Another 30% they pay on occasions. Like say if we have a gathering and they want to get involved in, we haven't paid. They pay, of course, they have to be, because we set up on the fundraising activity for members, there's a discounted price to attend the
events.
So that's why they feel more feasible to pay to renew their membership.
Yes.
So that's another 30%, and the rest 40% they don't.
Okay.
I mean, sad to say that. I would like.
It's reality, though, isn't it?
Yeah, because that will make us more and more enthusiastic to get into the jobs and the business.
Sustainable, of course. Yeah. So, how much do people have to pay?
A family is $60 a year, and a single $30.
Right.
Yeah.
That's $60 a year per family.
$5 a month. Yeah.
$30 per a single person just to join this community. So what do people get for their money?
Well, they get the three programs. We do 3 programs: one for seniors, one for youth and children, and the other one is sports.
The other one is
the sport program.
Sport. Okay. Yeah.
And they can get involved in that group. Apart from we do our Christmas parties for children that it's free, just for members and their children.
That sounds like a lot of activities that this charitable trust organizes and is in charge of. And you were mentioning the seniors program, the youth, the sports groups, and you know what? I actually paid a visit to these groups not too long ago, and this is what I found out. Take a look.
We have this game. It's been going for over 10 years now. We get together every Wednesday night. A lot of the age group is 20s, 30s, 40s, and we are like it's more social game. Family and some of our kids as well play with us. So it's more entertainment, keep us fresh and keep us healthy, basically. And that's every Wednesday night here at Beach Haven Tennis Club. So if you guys, anyone who wants to come and join us, by all means, just give me a call, text me, and come and join us.
The Zumba Nights provide a great opportunity for members for the Babylon Center to communicate, connect, stay fit while having fun. I've been coming every week, very committed. It's been over a year now. We really need to have something under one umbrella that will just allow us to do things that we weren't able to do before. So it's just great to come and have good laughs while we exercise, and I think that's quite important also to stay connected with those people we haven't seen for a while. I love these classes, and I really encourage members and non-members to come and join because it's just amazing. We are now like a family here. Everybody just have fun together and keep fit. And thank you, Babylon Center, for allowing us to have that opportunity.
ما نشوف بعضنا كل وقت، نشوفهم هنا يوم الأربعاء. نسأل عن أخبارهم، يعرفون أخبارنا، يصير فت حركة خلال الأسبوع هو نتشوق له حتى نجي يعني نلتقي. وناس طيبين وشباب اللي يساعدونا ويقومون بواجبهم هنا، ما يخلون قصور، ومرتاحين بيناتنا، ويا ريت تصير دائما أكثر.
كثير أحب أنا هاي اللقاءات وأنتظرها بيوم بيوم وقبل بيوم. نتخابر مع صديقات، رح نجي أولى ونستنظر مكالمة من جوني أو من وسام حتى يثبت لنا رح نجي. لقاء حلو يصير عندنا هوني، نلتقي مع صديقات، نتونس كثير، نتذكر أيامنا القديمة ونحكي على الأيام الجاية وعلى المستقبل. هم هون الجماعة ما مقصرين معنا، مثلا سنة مرة مرتين سفرة طلعونا ودونا على المطعم، يجيبونا هون أكلات طيبة، احنا نجيب ويانا صديقات أصدقاء شباب، يعني احنا نقول شباب اخواتنا هون الكبار بالعمر، ما نحكي ما نقول انت كبير وشيء، انت شاب، الجو الشباب راحوا الشباب، يعني نفسيا نريد هم يبقون شباب. ونفس الشيء احنا النسوان بيناتنا، انت بعدك شابه، نشجع. وانا احب مو بس انا اسمع من الجماعه همني، نتمنى نكثر، احنا عندنا بعد احلام نريد نكثر، عندنا خوات بالبيوت بعد كبار، خلي يجون اشجعهم انا، لان هوني ونسه، هوني نلعب بينجو، رياضه، يعني يمكن صارت عندنا فعاليات. بعدين عندنا أهم شيء ندخل نزور عذراء، نصلي في بيت وردية ونطلع، هاي أهم شيء عندنا. ونشكر الجمعية، نشكر شباب هوني، باسل، جوني، يعني ما يقصرون معنا، جو كلش حلو. أتمنى كل خواتنا اللي بالبيوت يجون معنا.
يعني حلو نلتقي دائما، نفتقد بعضنا، لأن قسم من الجماعات ما نشوفهم دائما. بهذا اللقاء نشوف ونفتقد أخبار، الوحدة تسأل عن الثاني، نتفقد الأخبار، ايش طبختم، شاكلتم، سويتم، وين رحتم، وين جيتم، هالأشياء كلش يعني حلوة. ونشكر نحن يعني أعضاء الجمعية لأن يتعبون علينا ويسهرون على راحتنا. إن شاء الله دائما هاي اللقاءات تتكرر.
There's a lot going on if you are a member of this community.
Yeah, well, I mean, for the $60 is nothing now these days. You know.
Yeah, it's very much nothing, isn't it?
The whole family, $5.
So you mentioned there's a seniors program, there's a youth program, and there's a sports program. Would you get into those for me and you know, in a brief way, if that's okay.
Yeah, seniors program, they gather every other Wednesday in St. Thomas More Hall, and we started that with years ago, actually 7 or 8 years ago.
8 years ago, wow.
Yeah.
How have they found it over the years?
Oh, they enjoyed it. They are that category of the seniors. They are well appreciate our work.
Yeah.
They pay their membership on time. They are so happy. Everything goes right for them. And actually, we look after them as well. We, apart from that, we take them sometimes. We outing like for a cafe or take them. Once we took them to the Oakland Museum, and also Christmas lunch for them at the end of the year.
Do you pick people up from their homes and you take them to the event?
Yeah, we have buses to take them and bring them back. It's all free. We hire the hall, of course, and food. Sometimes they themselves like to bring special Iraqi food to share with
Yes.
others.
Yeah.
But that's another bonus. But mainly we supply coffee, tea, biscuits, snacks, and things like that.
Because
Yeah.
I understand that the in the Iraqi culture, the elderly are very
Yeah.
much important, and they are hugely involved in the life of the family. You grow up, you take care of your family, your mum and dad. So the mental health outcomes of this sort of work that you do must be drastic for these rather older, mature people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they are so happy, and we feel when we do that, when the day comes for the program. I mean, the volunteers are really happy to help them, and they play bingo during and the men play the board games, and domino and backgammon, and yeah, so it's
The
a
social
very
aspect.
very happy day for them. They look forward. And if
I'm
we miss it
sure.
one day or whatever, for some reason the hall is not available, oh why, and then we have to shift the day, and now they are actually asking us to do it every single week. And
Right.
actually, volunteers we are restricted. We don't have the time. It's about 3 hours, so it's not easy.
So you're not going to be able, so it's you're finding it challenging to make this service a bit more available due to lack of volunteers.
Exactly. I mean, volunteers are necessary because we don't have.
How important are volunteers to run these events?
Well, because I consider it big. They are big enough for our community of, who have how many people in the North Shore. I mainly talk about the North Shore. It's very important that we have helpers, and we are 9 board members. 2 of us are retired. 7 are fully time. They can't come in the morning. It's 10 to 1. And so if we can do more projects, we can expand if we have more volunteers. Like this week, this volunteer comes, and next week the other volunteers come. We can schedule the whole thing.
So the people who are running these projects are board members of this community center. So the people who are organizing the administrative work, who are organizing the bookings and the gatherings and the emails, and also are the same people who are showing up on the site and setting up the venue and making things available and the food and all that. And you'd mentioned 2 people are retired and a few more have got full-time work. So, and some of your events don't happen after hours. They happen during the day, that you were saying, especially with the seniors. So it must be a real challenge.
It is. And the free programs are 100% run by the trustees, the 9 trustees.
I mean, you're offering so much here. There's a lot at stake, and there's a lot of work, and it's just so much. It's a lot of pressure as well on the people involved. Now, the lack of volunteers, though, is a real issue for you, hasn't it?
It is. We really ask the community to try to find. They can come to us, email us, call us. They know us. And if they want to volunteer and participate, we are happy to have them. And we thank them. And sometimes the volunteers, we reward them with vouchers, supermarket vouchers. I mean, it's not going for free all the time. It's not a free freeze. Especially the board members, they don't take any.
So do you get paid for this work, by the way?
No. It's all volunteer, and volunteer without any reward. Volunteers which are not in the board members, we give them something, mainly a supermarket voucher
Some
or
sort
a
of
petrol
thank you,
voucher. Just I know it doesn't cover exactly what they have offered, but at least it's something.
What's the difference between the Babylon Charitable Trust and Babylon Community Center?
For Babylon Charitable Trust, because it's charitable trust, it has to do free programs for the community. So we do free programs for the community. You need funding. So there's two ways to get the funding. The one way is to apply for entities or funders, we call them, to give us on a project by project base funds. And of course we apply with the quotations but of course whatever you apply for, they give you maybe 20, even 10% of what you apply for.
So this community center, so is this considered like a social club for people in New Zealand or Iraqi? Yeah,
I'm coming to that point. So we have two funding systems. One is apply for the funders, and the other one, Babylon Charitable Trust, created a separate entity under the umbrella of Babylon Charitable Trust, Babylon Community Center. And it has its elected boards. Some of them are from the Babylon trustees. And the Babylon Center will do social activities, fundraising activities to get some funds to feed the free programs of Babylon Charitable Trust.
How much time does this involve out of your life, like personal time? Because it sounds like you're involved in a lot of things. Tell me a bit about your role at the moment and what do you do to get this off the ground?
We are a board members. We are 9 of us in the board, and I am the chairperson. All of us actually work hard to get the trust going on. The main thing, what I do is work on the funding process. This is very, very important for us.
Of course, you need the money. If you don't have the money, you can't do anything with it.
If you don't get the money, you can't carry on with your free projects.
Yes.
That's why. So the funding is the main. Of course, the meetings with the board members, we discuss things and what we need to do, what's the cons or the pros, or all of these things of the project, of the trust. So the funding is the main thing, and it takes time because you start to apply to the funding entities, and application involve quotations and why do you do that? Lots of questionnaire, like they want, because they are giving you money for free, so they have the full right to have everything right.
Yes. They need to know where the money is going to, that it's not just going.
Of course, and that's then at the end accountability report. When the project is finished, I have to supply the accountability report, which covers showing the receipts, showing the bank accounts, every receipt, how is it paid? Is it paid by the account? Is it paid by credit card? And all of these things, and then you have to submit that.
This sounds like hours and hours of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of time because actually we you can imagine 5 or 6 funders, and you keep up. You have to be up to date, and they want the receipts as you go on throughout the year. Every 3 months, update what you did.
Yeah,
and it's 5 or 6, and of course. Some of them, they need interviews. Sometimes they phone calls for hours on the phone, and presentation. Some of them, we need to go. A few of us from the board, 2 or 3 of us, will go for a presentation and tell them about the trust and what we do and the community.
But it's such a selfless service that you are providing alongside the 9 members who are part of the core group or part of the trustees who are tirelessly working at this event or these events and this project without any reward. And why do you think volunteers have been difficult to get, Johnny?
Well, everybody everyone has his own reason, different reason, family involvement, children, things like that. And some people, they don't want to get involved in. It's just a personal, but I don't know. But I think everybody who is passionate to help, he can find the time in a way or another to do that.
If you are listening or watching and you feel a real desire to be part of this group and this community, to volunteer, to become part of it, you can definitely reach out to Johnny on this email that we will include in the description below. And there will be more contact details, an email, website, if you want to go and check out what they do. You also have a Facebook page, but I think it's pretty private. You can't really access. If you've just tuned in, I'm speaking to Iraqi community leader and Babylon Community Trust's chairperson, Johnny Burjony. He's talking about his involvement in the Iraqi community. And if you found this interview valuable and enlightening and you want to see more, please hit the red subscribe button here below and like this video so that YouTube will be able to share my video to other people and we can grow. So yeah, I appreciate your support. Now, we talked about funding, we talked about volunteers, and we talked about what you do for the seniors. Some of the things that you were talking to me, before we were recording, like having their blood pressures checked, having a sugar test checked, having just having games, playing together, and being able to mentally be active for these older people who often stay at home for long periods of time without any social interaction, especially with COVID.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a big thing. I mean, you going back to volunteers, like with the seniors program, you mentioned the blood pressure and the diabetes check and things like. We used to have volunteers.
Yeah.
And even giving lectures, medical lectures, but not anymore. We can't find the volunteer to help us taking their blood pressure, and they feel more relaxed when somebody does that for them. But we need volunteers again, so it's important. It's easy. It's the most difficult part is the seniors. And then we need teachers for the students to expand into Arabic language teaching. Sports is not that difficult because it's easy going. We hire Meadowood, and we have a Zumba lady who does the Zumba there every Wednesday. And they go and they do the Zumba as well.
So you really are bringing so much to the table when it comes to the well-being of the Iraqi community. Johnny, what message or call do you have for people out there?
It's a message is always we are from the community and we are for the community. So we need people to work with us and to expand. Our aim is to have a center. We are in the queue with to have a big lease with the council, because the only option we've got is the council, because their lease is affordable and they help us. And that's the main thing, to have a place. And when we have a place, we can get everybody together, and we would like to have every single body involved and pay membership. Paying the membership helps a lot with our work, with our expand our projects, the free projects, make them bigger, make them more often. So we'd like people who are not interested at all to look into this interview to look into our website, to contact us. We are happy to talk. We might be doing some few things not the right way or the way they like it. We can always talk, especially the people who are not interested at all. And of course, the people who are interested but not active, we like them to be more active. And I thank the people who are active and paying. Finally, I would like to a special thanks to the current volunteers, which are working hard with us, and a special thanks to my team, the Babylon Charitable Trust board members and the Babylon Community Center board members. Thank you all.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, such a great way to end our conversation. Thank you so much for making time to chat.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. This is Johnny Burjony, the community Iraqi leader and chair of the Babylon Charitable Trust, and who's heavily involved in the Iraqi community. He's done such a great job. Johnny, you are real inspiration to a lot of people, and very much happy, and we're so glad that you're part of our community. So kudos to you, and we do hope that this interview will stir some hearts to come and join your cause. So thanks so much for listening to this week's episode. If you enjoyed it, again, if you're on YouTube, please subscribe to this channel. If you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, thank you so much. You can like it, share it, or leave a comment, a review on Apple Podcasts. That really help get the message out to as many people as possible. Look, until next week, I think all I'm going to say is ka kite and goodbye.